Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to Actually Aubrey, and we're here to talk about Love and Marriage DC, Season 1, Episode 4. Guys, how are you doing today?
I'm well, I can't complain.
That's Jeremy Speaks, and we got to add it to the new to the addition is JB says what? JB, how are you?
I'm good. Can't complain either.
All right. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Well, let's go ahead and get started with this review. The tonight's episode, or last night's episode, was called "Sex, Lies, and the Great Debate." Um, we opened up uh, at Ocean Prime as a continuation from last episode with the four ladies still talking to Winter, who's, I don't know, I guess still in her feelings about the conversation from a few episodes ago at the Samuel's house, where it seems like she feels like Winter feels like apparently that Ashley was a little bit harsh with her about her statement about getting to know Kevin and how Kevin turned out to be the Tinder swindler or whatever it is, and that she's got two failed marriages. So, JB, what were your thoughts about this scene?
I mean, I agree with Winter when it comes to Ashley because Ashley, she, I don't want to say she's a mean girl, but her personality can come off
Hmm.
really mean-ish.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I was on Winter's side, but I did like the fact that, Ashley was woman enough to say, hey, if I offend you, which I hate when people say if, but she did apologize to her and she left it at that. And I also do agree with Ashley that Winter brings up her ex-husband a lot. So I'm on both sides. I can see both sides of the coin.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying, but what, Jeremy? What are your thoughts? And then I'll say what I'm thinking too.
Well, I just don't agree with Ashley. I mean, not Ashley, but I just don't agree with Winter. I completely, am a Ashley connoisseur. When it comes to Winter, like when you bring up your information like that multiple times, because we already had like on the first episode we had to deal like with her our synopsis of her failed marriages, and then to go into it again at a dinner when you're not even technically even supposed to be there, and then calling yourself a relationship expert. How can I not question it? You know what I'm saying? And I
I know
don't
what you're
think
saying.
that she I don't think that she was rude. She was like, so how are you like a relationship expert and you have like, one failed marriage and one scammer, like a person who was lying to you? That to me, I don't know where the rudeness comes in at. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm also a mean girl, you know. But like
I don't feel like it. Go ahead. You have more. Go ahead, because I wanted to
but like
chime in.
I just don't agree, and I feel like Winter is dragging it. The lady already apologized, and normally I don't like when people say if, but in this case I'm not
Mhm.
about to accept the guilt of something that I did not feel like I did, but I'm going to apologize for making you feel that way. But am I going to say I was being aggressive and agree that like that's what I was doing? No, but I apologize if I made you feel that way. When you have to understand, just like when we were like in Love and Marriage Huntsville, when you put out an apology, to me that's an indication of like of you being guilty of whatever you're apologizing for. But if I apologize for making you feel that way, that's completely different. I feel like she apologized like that because she didn't feel that she was like some aggressive lady coming at her, but more so that that's the way that she interpreted and that's what she took it.
Yeah, I have to kind of say I'm not on anybody's side. First of all, like I feel like because I'm not real familiar with a love. I'm sorry, the former show that Monique Samuels was on, Real Housewives of Potomac. I've seen it a little bit, but by the time when I was watching it was before she was on it, and then I watched a couple episodes with her, and okay, so I'm not really in that like who's right, who's wrong, but to me, just right is right and wrong is wrong. The way I look at it, Winter came onto this show. She used her failed marriages basically to get a foot into the show, because the way I understand it, she was only supposed to be in like a episode or two, just like that other lady. who's that lady, Tasha Lyons or whatever, is like a friend of the show. That was supposed to be Winter's role, but Winter went ahead and put her whole dirty laundry out there for everybody to see for fodder so that she could be on the show. So this is kind of what comes with it. When you put it out there, don't expect that you're going to like everybody's reaction, because everybody doesn't think the way you think. Everybody's not going to say, "Oh, poor you, you're such a victim." People are going to ask questions, so be prepared, right? That's how I
Right.
feel about it. So I don't feel like Ashley was being a mean girl. She may have been very direct, as Irena pointed out later on. She was being very direct, but she's not being aggressive. She's just saying what basically all of us as viewers, and that's another thing. I appreciate Ashley because she's saying what I as a viewer am thinking. Now, maybe if I was at that party personally myself, I probably wouldn't have verbalized that. I probably would have been just like, in my head, But she's saying what people are thinking, and I don't think she's rude for saying it. That's just my thoughts on it. So,
And but
No, I wouldn't
also
say she
in
was a mean
Winter's
girl.
wait, JB, you want to take it, go, and then
Yeah.
you,
So
okay.
I wouldn't say she's aggressive, but also to Winter's defense, she actually did not bring up her ex-husband. It was Chris Samuels who brought him up first, and then she kept talking on it. So it's not really that she mentioned at the table. It was Chris Samuels who brought it up because Chris had
He
went out
did.
with him, and Chris was talking about how much he said he loves and miss her, and she was like, "You can miss me with that, you know what."
Hmm.
So it
Right.
was really Chris Samuels who brought it up, and not her, but she continued to talk about the conversation.
Well, right. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, but I guess what I'm trying to, I guess what I'd like for everybody to understand, and nobody has to agree with me. Like I said, it's just my opinion. But whether she brought it up or not, yeah, you're right. Chris did bring it up. But the fact that she brought it up in the very beginning in this group of people, you know what we're here for. We're here to talk about and to dig up drama, right? That's at the end of the day, it's a reality show, right? So you brought it up, and you came to somebody's whole business event talking about your husband, both your husbands, and this, that, and the third. So of course people are going to talk about it. That's just kind of the way it goes on a reality show.
And to be honest, that's not the part that Ashley even were like quote unquote got aggressive with. The part that she got aggressive with is when she called herself a relationship specialist. After all of that conversation went on, and then it got into like, well, how are you a relationship specialist? One scammer, one failed marriage, and then that's when Quicksilver said that's basically like the hairstylist that never had their hair done. It's kind of like that. Like, so it,
Hmm.
I like that. Like, it still pertains. Like she answered the question. That was it. Like, she's not dealing with Kevin anymore. That could have just been that, but she expounded upon it in her defense. Winters, I mean, she was supposed to be a permanent part of the cast, but she was supposed to be, I guess, the fourth like
Mhm.
wife, but she ended up getting a divorce before, so that booted her down to like a
Friend
friend of the
of.
cast. But
Okay.
I do think like maybe she was supposed to do this, and she was gonna do something to stay on this cast, no matter what it was. Like Ashley just gave her a reason because she's
Yeah.
extending this out into past this scene. Like at the end of the
Right.
scene, I really did think that they came to a good conclusion. I thought that
Yeah.
everybody communicated properly. I do feel that Ashley communicated properly. I don't feel like Ashley came at her crazy at the table, probably
Mm-mm.
disagreed on a few topics, but she respectfully disagreed. And then Arena was there to make sure nothing got crazy, and Tasha was even holding Ashley accountable in defense of Winter. Like, so I don't understand how Winter all of said she quote unquote felt ganged up on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, to me, so far, everybody started with me on this show with a clean slate. All the women, all the men. I don't know them from a can of paint. Honest to goodness, like I said, I've seen them on a couple of shows. I don't know them, and I don't really, they're not my friends. They're not my neighbors. I'm watching this as a viewer, but
And it
but I'm gonna say this a little bit later. I'm gonna say this for a little bit later. Winter is beginning to rub my nerve the wrong way. Okay, she's already beginning to rub my nerve the wrong way. That's just me, but that comes a little bit later in another scene that she has on this episode. But guys, we're gonna move forward. If that's okay with you guys. We see in the next scene, Ashley stops by her husband's by her husband's manager, Sean's office, to talk to to the manager. And I'm laughing. I'm sorry, I can't help but giggling. To talk to her husband's manager to schedule family time with her husband. I mean, wow, he is a really busy working, hard working man. Um, Jeremy, I'm going to ask you, what did you think about that? What did you think about that whole scene?
I was not expecting, Ashley to be the type to do this. I was kind of embarrassed for her. Like, it's really, reaching a low point when, like, basically, I guess you have to beg your husband's manager to pencil you in some time to spend with him. Like, you have to ask permission to spend time with your husband. Like, I just thought that was crazy. Like, and then the fact that the husband ended up coming in and she said, "Where is Ashley on this schedule?" This dude said, "Well, I see in the next 3 weeks I got a show to do." I was like, hold up, wait a minute. You don't like you don't have no time scheduled for this lady? Like,
Right.
that was crazy to me.
Right. Yeah, he's obviously working a lot. Um, JB, what do you say about this?
Honestly, when I saw that scene, I tweeted this and I was like, is this scene set up? Because it was just kind of weird to just see her go to his boss, asking his boss to give him time off from work. That's the issue. I mean, that's a big red flag right there in your marriage. I mean, I know she and the boss, when they talked, they said it was a coping mechanism. I wonder what is a coping mechanism, what is a coping mechanism for, and they need to figure out what that issue is and then work toward that, because you can ask for time off, but there's something else that he is dealing with internally that y'all need to figure out what that issue is.
Yeah, I agree. And then on top of that,
I agree
they
with you.
also
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was just chiming in too that I agree with JB. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Okay. I was saying that, it does that really is crazy, but it makes me wonder, like, has like what type of trauma, like, has he been in the past where he kind of seems to avoid his family? Because that's what it seems
Mm,
like to me. I mean, I know that he loves his family. He's a very charismatic guy, but it does
mm-hmm.
seem that, it's something in him that makes him feel that he needs to be distant from the household, as in, like, drowning in work. Maybe that's what he feel like a man is supposed to do, like, just really work themselves to the bone. And I really hope that, he really gives his body some time to rest, because I also fell asleep at the wheel and totaled my car. And that this when I was in the military and I was working like those 19-hour days and having to come back and
Ooh.
forth. Like, it was incredibly, like, painful to know that he also has gotten into multiple accidents, falling asleep at the wheel. Because at first I was thinking that maybe he's a cheater, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
that's what this is, more like a Marceau. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a Marceau. Um,
Mm-mm.
I definitely think that he is truthfully working, but I'm just maybe he needs to, like, some counseling or something like that. Like, maybe he needs to talk to somebody, but I like him. Like, he's probably my favorite husband on this cast.
I like him too. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I have a favorite yet. Well, I don't know. Let me go ahead and say, y'all know I'm a little sweet on big man Chris. Oh, I just love him. Oh, anyway, let me snap out of it. but
Mhm.
no, but Quick, I do like him. I do like him. I like all the husbands so far. I like Jamie too. But Quick specifically, yeah, I
Hmm.
like him, and I think you and JB hit on it. There's something going on when they say that this is a coping mechanism and how he copes with his life. I don't know if I think it's healthy or not to cope with your life by working and kind of digging your head into your work so deep that you're kind of basically ignoring your family. And I just was thinking about what he said. He said something. Now I'm going to paraphrase this. I'm not going to get it exactly right, so I'm not saying this is an exact quote because I didn't write it down. But he basically said something about working hard all this year, so next year we can play harder. I'm like, dude, no. We don't work hard all this year so we can play harder next year. That sounds like you really lack in balance, because there's nothing to say that next year is even promised to any of us. You, me, him. any of us, right?
Yeah.
So that was a little scary, and like you guys said too, also the part about I've also worked jobs where I've had 12 hours, 16 hour, 18 hour, even 24 hour shifts, and that's no joke to be driving home and you're so tired that you run off. I've never done it. First of all, let me say that, but I do know of people that have done it, and that can be very deadly. So
It's scary
I
too.
felt for him. Pardon me.
It's very scary because I never drove off the road, but I have driven off the shoulder, and I've caught
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Ooh. Yeah, I had a girlfriend years ago that was studying. She was working full time and going to school to be an attorney. And she was driving back home and she was commuting to college, which was the crazy part. She was commuting to college. I mean, it wasn't a real long commute. I want to say maybe 45 minutes, but 45 minutes when you've been up all day, working 10 hours, and then had law school, law classes. She did end up going off the road. And, fortunately, she was okay. But that's a very scary thing that can happen. And I just feel like for people that have driven off the road like that and fallen asleep, I feel like that's nothing but God that was there with them, that protected them from not coming to any greater harm. But
Yeah.
but we'll move on. And so the next scene we see, oh, and I just love this. I wish we could have seen more of it. I wish they could have taken a whole crew to Tanzania, Africa, because I would love, love, love to go to the motherland. And I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go one day. I'm gonna go to the motherland one day. The Serengeti, the safari, the zebras, and all the animals, and just being able to take their whole family, unlike someone who shall remain nameless who went to Africa and left their whole entire family at home in Huntsville, but he shall remain nameless. your,
Miss Arbery,
your thoughts,
does that
Jeremy?
does that person also have a wide back?
Where's my laugh machine?
Because if he does, I think we all know who you're talking about.
Oh yeah, you hit it right on the nail on the head. But back to the scene though. What did you think about? What did you think about them being in Africa with their family? Did they look happy?
I mean,
No.
trip to
Moving on to
Africa,
Jay.
no. trip to Africa. I mean, we've seen it before. Like on the Real Housewives, they actually all went to Africa, and they were out there, getting fortunes told to them by oracles and stuff like that. Like,
Wait a
it's
minute.
just
You talking about her, Monique, her and her family when she was on the other
no,
show?
I was saying
Oh.
this is something that we've seen common on TV before. So I was kind of bored. Like, I don't feel that was like really interesting. I don't feel like we needed to include it into two different episodes, because she was also in Africa in the last episode when we snapped to her, when everybody was at the table. It was going back and forth. But I'm saying, like, the scenes with Monique are really lackluster and boring. And yeah, it's nice that your family is having fun in Africa, but it really wasn't that interesting to watch.
Okay, another perspective. Well, JB, what were your thoughts on it?
Same sentiment. I agree. I
Okay.
found it quite boring watching Monique and her family in Africa. Now, if Carlos had made it a cast trip, hey, I would have been here for it. But just seeing Monique and Chris and the kids in Africa, it was a fast forward for me because I just didn't really care.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
And
I'm the only sentimental one then.
Well,
All
I
right.
definitely
no,
wanted to go
like,
to
isn't it
Africa.
like, to be honest, you really didn't care about it either. You was more impressed with Africa than Monique. Like,
Well, yeah.
it was
I
the
mean,
motherland.
it was about, you know what, in a story, yeah, the setting can actually be part of, like a character in the story. So yeah, you're right. It wasn't about, because you're right. I see what you guys are saying though. The cast wasn't there to intermingle and to have a real storyline in that plot. So they kept it short. So I mean,
But like, what I'm saying is the same
Mhm.
way. And I'm thinking about this from a performance perspective. Even when I'm
Okay.
doing like my YouTube videos, I have to beware, and think about my voice, my vocal inflections. I have to think that this is a show. I'm supposed to entertain people. Monique don't say anything funny. She don't say anything witty. She don't try to sound interesting. It's just boring. It's just just monotone. Oh my God, I'm so
Hmm.
happy that me and my family are in Africa. I just feel like I don't want to go back. Okay, Monique, what else? Like, tell us how this connects with you. Like, give us something more. She gives nothing. It's just
I
boring.
see what you're
Like if you
saying.
just watch,
Go ahead.
like if Ashley was out there, like, or let's say even Dr. Heavenly or Mariah from Married to Medicine. They would have given you like some funny punches and one-liners, maybe about the environment, about how everything smells better out there than out here. They would have gave something of interest while that scene was going on. But Monique just does not have that personality to pull into the audience.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like I said, I definitely get it as a writer who does fiction. I definitely get it. I get what you're saying, guys. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Moving forward to the next scene, we have Jason, who is basically talking to his mother, Irena Tyler. And of course, we know Jason is the younger son of Irena and Jamie Tyler. And he's differently able, he's visually impaired, and his mother has come in his room to tell him that she's just gotten a letter from um, a program called Doors, Department of Rehabilitation Services, that helps teach adult people who are differently able independent skills, and also gives them life skills, and teaches them how to find a job, and gives them leads to companies that are looking for people that can work with whatever their differently able situation is. And Jason basically letting his mother know that he doesn't want to be a DJ. What his father is trying to talk him into with Quicksilver training with him and going to his school for DJs, he doesn't want to do that. Instead, he wants to work for Apple, and he wants to work in technology, because that's where he believes, and which is true, where a lot of money is in terms of pay. So his mother comes up with, okay, well, we're going to make this dinner. We're going to have this seafood boil, and we're going to tell your father at dinner. We're going to invite your sister over, your brother over, and we're going to talk about this at dinner, where dad won't be able to fuss at you so much, is what I basically got out of it. So they proceed to make this dinner. And guys, what do you think about the cooking and the dinner?
I I just love Arena. I adore that lady. She just, her spirit just seems warm and inviting and just very sweet. I loved how she talked to her son. She has like a specific voice that she talks to him in, where she's trying to also, I guess, treat him like an adult, but also be more courteous, about his limitations as far as like the communication skills go. And I just see her always just trying to, like, mediate things within her family and just try to hold everything together. But it's kind of sad that he feels like he's being forced to do something that he doesn't want to do, because at the end of the day, your children can only like live for themselves. You cannot live like through your children, and you have to be comfortable with them making their own decisions about what they want to do. And I was really happy he said he wanted to pursue his education, get into the tech industry, especially as somebody who's visually challenged, so I was really kind of confused at why the dad would have such an issue with it, but I don't understand a lot about, what I've been seeing from Jamie this episode.
Okay. He seems like he just has, and I want to explain something that he talked about later on IG. But JB, your thoughts?
So my thoughts are this. I mean, I've been watching this since the beginning, since the first episode, and I have to say that Irena, week after week, continues to prove why I like her as much as I do. Because
Aw.
Irena, for me, is my favorite of all the women. And in this scene, I just loved how she actually sat and talked to him. She went in there to tell him about the application. She talked to the people. She got to do some more stuff. And then she asked him, "What do you want to do?" He said he wants to go to school. He wants to get out on his own. And I just love the fact that she still, she knows that her son has a disability, but she doesn't want to, just harp on that. She doesn't want to treat him as if he's a disabled person. She wants to treat him like a normal 21-year-old
Mhm.
would, like what they would do. And I just love that about her. It's refreshing to see that as opposed to his dad. And Jason is 100% correct. I feel like with Jamie, he's trying to live vicariously through him. So I feel like Jamie at one point may have wanted to go to be a DJ, and now he's trying to push this off on Jason. And even when Jason said in his interview, because when Arena was like, "We're going to have the dinner, and you can talk to your dad," he was like, "Why don't you talk to him?" And she's like, "No, you talk to her, your dad." And I get her point. This is between you and your dad, but we'll have everyone around. So the way it's a sounding board. So that way, if he want to say something, we're there to defend you. But what Jason did say was that he's going to cop an attitude, and that's exactly what he did at that table. He copped the attitude.
Right, exactly. Okay, I got to go back, guys. Just cover this real quick. This point, this is so funny to me because while they were preparing, while Irena and her beautiful mother were preparing for the seafood boil, and Irena did tell us, she said, "I don't know how to cook," which I was thinking, okay, honey, you can tell us you're not a great cook, you're not a chef cook, you're not, a chef caliber. But I'm trying to figure out, lady, you've been married for 26 years. What did the poor kids eat? What did your husband eat? I mean, I know you wasn't at the McDonald's every night. I just know you were. But I love Arena. So needless to say, her mother, who has moved in with the family to help out, with Jason, and his differently able, things, that need help, and with the family with cooking, obviously. I was just cracking when Irena went to spray the Pam onto the actual crab and the shrimp and the corn.
Yeah,
I'm
that was
like,
pretty funny.
everybody knows that's for like the pan, babe. That's not for the food.
And she says every single she said, "I don't know why, but every time I cook, I think I'm supposed to spray everything with Pam." I was like, this is ridiculous. She said every time I cook, I just start spraying Pam on all of it. I was like, this is why you don't eat at everybody's house.
Exactly. I was like, oh, I'm out. I fainted. I fainted. That was cute and funny at the same time.
I was wondering with that, had she ever lived by herself without Jamie, and did she cook or not? Because I mean, you spend a lot of money on fast food if she don't know how to cook.
Well, and let's throw that in there because we are living in the modern world, and I'm gonna say now I was surprised that she didn't cook, but I don't even know if he cooks. So I'm surprised by any. Let me just say this: I'm surprised by any adult person. If you live by yourself, or even if you live with your parents and you're 21 or 22 because you're going to college, whatever thing is going on, that's kind of like a basic life skill, if you will. It's just kind of basic, like to learn. I mean, and I'm saying again, you don't have to be a chef. You don't have to be throwing down with all the soul food traditional things or whatever, but just some basics, some real nice healthy basics would be good. But I thought it tickled me though. It was a nice humorous break in the situation. And of course, I don't know if anybody else felt like this, but I was kind of feeling like, what's daddy gonna do when he gets home? Meaning Jamie, what's daddy gonna do? Because that was like, I think the whole center pin of the scene later when they were all sitting at the dinner table, which is another thing now as I'm thinking about it, guys, tell me this. When's the last time non-holiday that you guys sat down with your family and had a dinner at the table at the same time? Anybody?
Probably a little bit over maybe 5 years. 6 maybe.
Yeah. What about you, JB?
I haven't done that since my mom was living.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My
Yeah,
condolences.
Yeah, that
yeah,
was the last time we sat around the table and ate was when she was living, but it's been 5 years now. So
yeah. My condolences as well. And I gotta say, it's that's something. So this show is bringing for me now. I don't know. I love the drama. We all love to make fun of these characters and these people, their real lives. We're gonna make fun of them. But if you're in the chat and if you're watching this on replay, please comment down below. When's the last time you sat down with your family and had dinner? Because that's, for me, when I was growing up, that was everything. That was everything, to sit down with my mom and dad and have dinner. And sneak the greens off my plate and give them to the dog because I didn't like certain green vegetables. But I knew I couldn't have dessert if I didn't eat my vegetables, so I would sneak it to the dog. I would do that kind of stuff. So this show is really bringing it. I'm loving it that you have real families, real couples that really actually love and care about each other, and they get along. They're not perfect, but who is? Which one of us is really perfect, right?
True.
Right.
you know so well, anyway, so to the scene, I will say this. When Jason talked to his father and actually did tell him that that's not something he wanted to do, the DJing, that's not his career plan, and that he had to go. I like the way Jamie actually responded. So he was very stern and he was very manly in his frame, but he basically said, okay, so that's it, what you want to do. You want to go to school, you want to go to doors, you want to get training, you want to work with computers. So what's your plan B? And what are you doing for a social life? I love how he took that and wanted his son to be a well-rounded individual, even with being differently able. I really love that because that is something different to have a child who has some differently abled issues that they have to contend with in the world, and everybody not seeing them as the way your family, the mom and dad, sees them, but he still wants him to have a social life. I just really love that for him. Did you guys have any thoughts about that when Jamie said that to his son?
I did.
Um, I felt that I personally didn't like the way that he was talking to the son. I thought it was he just really disrespectful in my opinion. Like the way he talks to people is disrespectful. Like the
You
tone
you
that he
saying
talks to
you
people in.
say you saying Jamie? I'm sorry, not to cut you off, but you
Yeah,
saying Jamie?
Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very disrespectful. Like I guess because he's the like it's his household maybe, but maybe he don't even recognize it. But like the way he talks to people is disrespectful, and I don't like the tone of it. I didn't like how his son, like little Jamie, was echoing. I was like, didn't you? I was like, wasn't you avoiding him for the last 6 months? Now you want to sit here and try to tell him what he needs to be doing as well. What about you need to be doing? Don't you have like a court case coming? Why you sitting here trying to say how he gonna get girls? Like how you gonna stay out of jail, little Jamie? Like I was so shocked by that. Like, and I just felt like the one who was supporting him about it was the sister and the mama. But I felt like the little brother the big brother that I thought was going to like have his back was like
Hmm.
literally like, driving a car over him. I was like, what is going on here? He said he want to go to school. Let him go to school. He don't want to be a DJ. If he don't want to, he does not want to. And you have to understand that maybe he just doesn't feel like being in front of everybody with while he's maybe not equipped to be a DJ. He don't want to do that. Like allow him to
Yeah.
be what he wants to be. Like I don't
Right.
understand that. I didn't like the way he made him feel. Like I shouldn't have to question. So what are you gonna do now? Go ahead. That's the same thing that they did to me when I was telling them I wanted to leave the military. And it's a mechanism to make you feel that what you're saying and what you're trying to do is not stable enough. That's a tactic.
Mm.
It'll make you feel insecure about it. Like, well, maybe that's true. Maybe I do. Like it's that like that's how that happens. But at the end of the day, I feel like that son has a lot of Jamie's personality. That son is way more outspoken than little Jamie is. That son is
Yes.
is
Yes.
way more blunt like than little Jamie is. Like I feel like he takes more so after the personality of his father than the mom. So it's just it's very like just odd to see that because I would imagine that he would be way more docile given like I guess him being more visually impaired, but
Hmm.
he's definitely a spitfire. Like he does not like he was not holding anything back with his dad. Like it was refreshing to see.
Yeah, I love Jason. I love that he, like you said, that he has, and I think you and I talked about this on a previous episode of this show, where I feel like younger children are bolder with their parents. They will speak more forward to their parents, because I noticed that in my two children, my youngest will be able to address things differently with me than the eldest child, and I think that just comes from I don't know. I don't know where that boldness comes from, but it's a good thing though, because I think in life it's a skill set really that will help you. And to what you were saying about the military, um, that's something, that's a technique that they were using to manipulate you. That sounds very Otis like. Somebody in the audience is saying, Ellen, somebody in the chat, Ellen V was saying that Jamie gives her low key Otis vibes. I don't really get Otis vibes, but I will agree with you, LMV, that there are some manipulation tactics, but that was actually the oldest brother that was saying that, right? That was saying
Yeah.
that to his brother Jason. So that is a
Well, no,
manipulation tactic.
Like Jamie definitely asked him what the like. He was one who asked him
Oh,
that, but like the bigger brother was sitting there, echoing the father. And I don't think
mm-hmm,
Jamie is on Otis's. Like, I don't think Jamie is
mm-mm,
a terrible person. I don't think Jamie is a narcissist. I just think
mm-mm.
that Jamie has, and I like I said, I used to deal with this too in my friend groups, like a very controlling spirit. Like, and I feel like that's a spirit that's on people when they want to control
Oh,
everything. Like, I feel
okay.
like that's a like he has a very controlling spirit, and he feel what he
Wow.
wants everybody to do is succeed, but it's in the way that he views them as successful. So
Okay.
that's what I'm seeing. So I don't think that he's Otis. I don't think he's trying to tear anybody down or hurt them like like
Mm-mm.
Otis does. But I feel like
Yeah.
he's just very domineering in the way that he believes what he thinks is right.
Yeah, I agree with you, because I don't see, like I said, I don't see Otis in him. I don't see that spirit. I don't see the narcissistic tendencies at all. I don't see that. I see a man who really loves his children. But like you said, and I guess, well, I guess if my kids are listening to us now, they're probably like, "Oh, I sound like my mama." I had when my children were younger, and I think sometimes in life, especially if you've had to struggle to come up and to get to a certain level of competence and success, or achieve, or to purchase your first home or your second home, and to provide for your children, and you want to provide for them a certain life, and you want them to also be successful. I think it is, you become very afraid and very fearful. So like you said, to me, like maybe that controlling, you try to maybe control, you kind of try to guide them here, guide them there, to what your view of what success is and how those be successful. But the problem with it is that as our generation passes and we move on to the next generation, technology and jobs and careers do change, right? And
Mhm.
so the very thing that you're trying to steer them in, um it may not be the thing for them. They may not be suited for it. They may not like it. So yeah, I have to give him a break on that. I don't see Otis in him in this respect. Now, should things change at a later date, I will definitely keep you guys updated and posted. but but yeah, that was a great scene, and I just really love the whole thing, especially leading up to it with the Raina and that can that can of, of Pam. I can't with her. I just can't.
Now,
Yeah.
with
Oh,
that scene,
yes.
I didn't like the way he was talking to Jason, because
Okay.
I was saying in my video that my mom would love him, because when I was 18, getting ready, fresh out of high school, my mom
Hmm.
actually. So I turned 17. I was 17 when I graduated. I turned
Hmm.
18 in July of 2007. So my mom let me go all summer, have fun with my friends and everything. And then maybe 2 or 3 weeks before school started, she came in my room. She said, "So what are you gonna do? Because you're not gonna sit around here all every day and not work." So we had to play Let's
That's
Make a
right.
Deal. We had to play Let's Make a Deal. Either you get a full-time job or you go to work. That was my plan A and plan B. But for Jamie, when he's telling him he wants to go to school, he's like, "Okay, that's plan A. What's plan B?" I mean, once you finish school, plan B is to get a job. So he's telling you straight out he doesn't want to do DJ school, but then you got the only people that were defending him was his sister and his mother. And you got little Jamie over there just, echoing what the dad is saying. And like I said earlier, I feel like it's just Jamie vicariously trying to live through Jason. And I tweeted this last night that Jamie should go to Quick's DJ school, which Quick quote retweeted me with the information. But I'm like, it seems like he's the one that wants to do it because he was talking about the fact that, you know, he
Mhm.
wants to see his son in the magazines and stuff like that. I'm like, that's something that you want. Is that necessarily what he wants? Did you sit down and ask him what he wants? Like when you think about it, when with parents, when your kids grow up, because you know you put your kids, you know, with little girls, you put them in dance class, you put the boys in football. That's what the parents want. But then as the kids get older, they realize, hey, that's not for me, and they start to leave that stuff. So a lot of that stuff is just parents living vicariously through their children. I feel.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, what I was going to add to that, to this scene was later I was chatting with Jamie on IG, and basically what he said was that we got to remember, because we suspend disbelief to be in this moment, but this moment happened like months ago, 5, 6 months ago, and we were in the throes of the panorama. And so what he was saying, this is what he said, is that he wanted his son to keep busy until, because they didn't know when the Doors program, if you recall in the scene earlier, his mother Irena was saying that it took Doors months and months and months to get back with her, and they kept asking for more information and this and that. And we know that these governmental institutions, it's a lot of paperwork, and everything is still waylaid and backlogged because of the panorama, if we will. So that was something that he wanted him to keep busy. As a parent, once again, I could relate to him. Is that like you said, something that your mother told you? I've never allowed my children to stay in my home and not be busy. So when the summer months came and school was out here in Michigan, for example, what were they doing? They were at every college in Michigan because, one summer it's University of Michigan, one summer it's Michigan State, one summer it's Wayne State, it's Oakland University. We've got several colleges all up and through Michigan, and they were at all of them because they were studying STEM. They were studying science. They were studying technology. They were studying math, advanced math. So you're not going to sit around here, because I always really believe firmly in an idle mind is the devil's workshop. And I feel like that's why we have so many youth that end up incarcerated, in trouble with the law. Our young ladies pregnant, our young men impregnating these young ladies, because why? They're sitting around in the summer months and the guys are basically playing video games and having sex. What's that all about? I don't get that. That wasn't me. That wasn't my lifestyle as a parent. So I'm just telling you, I'm relaying what Jamie said. This was the reason why, and he was okay with his son having a different idea. But I think it is hard. I think he's a little rigid, and I can relate to that, because as a parent, it's not because you intend to be rigid, but it's really like you see so many people. If you look to the left, if you look to the right, you see so many children failing in life, and they fail early. Why? Because there's no preparation, there's no plan. Nobody sits around and thinks about this child that's so cute at 1 and 2 and 3. In a few years, you blink your eyes, they will be 17, 18, 19, and 20. What's the plan? What's the plan? So, but guys, so we move on to the double date. Jeremy, what's your thought about the double date? The Silvas and the Tylers have met for a double date. What's going on?
Once again, I'm sorry, Jamie. I look. I don't think you a bad dude. I really don't. If you watching this, I'm just trying to. I have to be completely honest. This this was not a good episode for you. But what made it even more hard to watch is that I don't think he was able to see that Irena was basically saying that he gives bad sex. And on top of that, like, he thinks that he's killing it. Like, he probably thinks that he's destroying her, and she just be like, "This is not it." Like, no. But he has so much pride that he probably does think that he knows what he's doing, and like Arena does seem like the type to be like, okay, you're not doing this right, so let me like teach you what you need to do. Like Arena's like, okay, yeah, yeah, baby, hit it, ooh, yeah, that's it, that's the spy, yeah, it's almost like that, but like she won't even let you, quote on, do the whatever it is down there. And if she ain't letting you do that, it's for a reason. And most likely it's because it's not enjoyable for her. Because if it was enjoyable, you know, then that wouldn't have had to. She would open that. She would welcome that with open arms. But maybe Jamie, y'all need to go see the sex specialist that like Winter,
Mm,
recommended them. That would be maybe in your best interest.
I thought about that too. She was kind of dropping some dimes there. What do you think, JB?
I agree, but also with Arena, as much as I like her, I'm like, God, this is word vomit because these are, I mean, with Quick and Ashley, these are people that they don't necessarily know long term.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna sit. I'm not about to sit in front of someone that I don't know like that and talk about my sex life. Now, if it's my best friend who I've been friends with for 17 years, absolutely, because she and I know intimate things about each other. But people that I'm just getting to know, I'm not gonna sit here and have a whole conversation with you about my sex life. It's just not going to happen. But
Right.
like he was talking about he wanted his words, not mine. Eat the box. When he was talking about that, I'm like, oh God, wow. And then I'm just speaking, going what Jeremy said. Maybe he ain't. I mean, because she did say at one point something about you use your mouth and not your tongue. I was like, she's telling you something right there, buddy. That's why she's not letting you do it. You're not using your tongue.
Ooh. Mm-mm-mm.
Like he young on the box, and she's just not enjoying it. Like it's
Ooh.
giving. Like this was really hard for me to watch. This was very awkward for me. I did not enjoy this scene at all, and I thought it was like, I mean, I could definitely understand what JB is saying, but I think that because Ashley just comes across as so real and relatable, that she just felt so comfortable to talk about this, and I was like, sis, maybe you got a little bit too comfortable. Maybe you
Exactly.
should have just kept this indoors and just tried to, I don't know, but I didn't like this conversation. Rebuke it, Jesus. Throw fire on it. I don't want it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you and JB. I mean, you know what? I'm not talking my sex life. First of all, I'm not talking it in public. I'm not talking it with somebody like JB said that I just met, and maybe we will be friends and maybe we won't be because this is a reality show. So chances are we won't be. So I, I'm not going deep like that. But again, we kind of had to suspend disbelief because I think, hey, this is what you get paid to be on these shows for, is you got to spill some tea. Because the one thing, and I'm gonna bring up the show that comes on before this show. The one thing I can't stand, I've tried to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. I cannot stand that. Who's that chick on there? Destiny? Like, why is she even on the show and she never spills anything? We don't know why she got divorced. How do
She
you
has a
get
gag
married?
order.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's gag her right on off the show because she's very boring to watch. I think she's beautiful, physically, but that's not enough. We never get anything out of her about why the divorce, why this, why that. Okay, you got a gag order. Help yourself off the show. Let's see her, maybe in limited scenes. But this is part of what you have to do to be on these reality shows. You got to get down and dirty. So I guess that's what Arena was doing. She was, letting it all hang out. And I don't know. I'm kind of like, maybe old dude needs some lessons or something. I don't know what's going on in that department, but it just don't sound like it. They're clicking like they used to click. That's what I'm getting out of this. So,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, Destiny and her Shein dresses that she loves to throw on every scene that she is in. She needs to go.
Hmm.
She needs to go. I'm look,
Yeah.
I'm but I'm gonna get into that
Yeah.
probably later
I just
on.
Yeah, I know you got something coming up for your audience. You're gonna go live. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna let you, Jeremy, take over this last scene. What are your thoughts on this? Just take over, and we're gonna wrap it up after this.
Okay. Forehead, meaning Monique, I have to, ask you a question. Why
Mm-mm.
won't you just be honest with this man and just tell him that you're not attracted to him? Tell him that you don't want him anymore. Tell him that you're tired. That you don't want to grab a man that has love handles. I don't know what it is that like about him that you don't like. But to try to sit here, demean this man, and pick arguments with him is completely nasty and terrible, and it makes you look extremely bad. And I feel like you're trying to make him look bad, but sis, you are so unaware and so obnoxious and blind about yourself that you think that you're actually right when you're wrong. Like, you're asking him questions that he just doesn't have an answer to. And if he doesn't have an answer to it, can he have like 10 minutes to, to think on it, to pontificate, without having to have a complete, analysis ready for you right when you ask. So she just so obnoxious and so annoying and just so bothersome. Like, I cannot stand Monique. Nothing about her is redeemable. Like, you sit here, you ain't loyal to your friends of 15 years, meaning Winter. You ain't loyal to your friends of 5 years, meaning Candace, and you ain't loyal to your man either. Gigi
Mm-mm.
already told us. Gigi and Sharice already told us, Monique, that you're a fraud. And you sit here, you want to try to leave this man. That's what she's gearing up to do. Or this is all fake and she's just using this as a storyline. Either one of the two, you still looking stupid out here. Like, completely demeaning this man for no reason. Like, and he's trying. It's hard to watch because he's literally trying to figure out how to communicate with her in the way that she wants, but is immediately when he makes a mistake or he doesn't say something that she likes, she goes in on the attack. And she's like petty. She wants to do silent treatment. Like, you're a grown woman. You're sitting here doing silent treatments, but you want to sit here and talk about communication.
Hmm.
You like, she's a clown.
Woof. Well, JB.
I
You,
agree about that, Monique. So I was thinking about this last night when I was watching it because I've been watching Real Housewives of Potomac since season one. I never miss a season. So when
mhm.
Monique came on in season two, I didn't necessarily like her because one, she doesn't let people speak. She talks over people, and then she does that loud cackling that she calls a laugh. And so I didn't like her season two, and it had nothing to do with any because most people didn't like her because of Giselle. I didn't care because I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Giselle's either. But then I came around season three and four to liking Monique, and I was like, okay, she's not as bad, but she's still annoying. And then season five, I try to block that from my memory banks. I don't ever I try not to speak on it with the situation with Candace. I don't ever want to relive that again. So this show right here is just reminding me of season two Monique. She doesn't let anybody speak. When her and Chris was in that confessional and they were talking about Africa, he said a piece of him is there. She's like, "Oh, I said that. I put that on Instagram." It's like, is this a competition or something? And then when you're sitting there with him on that floor, so did you have an aha moment? He says, "No." She got upset about him not having an aha moment. I'm like, so what did you want the man to do? Lie to you and say, "Oh yeah, I had a big aha moment." Then when you question him about what the aha moment was, he'd be like, "Oh, I was just saying that to shut you up." Then you would get mad, and then you had a little temper tantrum when he said, where's your about her mom? He said, "Do you want to talk about this anymore?" She says, "No." I was like, what was the Monique? Nick is. I'm realizing on this show, she is nitpicking any little thing she can find to have an argument with Chris. She's just looking for any little thing that she can find. Oh, you didn't do this. Oh, you didn't do that. Chris has been this person since we met him on Real Housewives of Potomac. I see why Chris' mama don't like that. When she called her, I got that helper together. I see why his mama feels the way she feels about Monique because Monique is
Mhm.
just unlikable. And as the episodes go by, I'm like, ugh, I couldn't do without Monique. And the fact that they brought her in as the lead of this show, Monique doesn't have that personality of a lead. She is not a lead. Arena is a lead. I'd even give Ashley a lead, but Monique is not that girl.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh
Jeremy,
yeah.
you basically said you called it in the beginning that it won't be long. She better watch herself because these ladies that are on the show with her can possibly come and take that from her, right?
Yeah, definitely. I guarantee you they're not gonna, I promise you by season 3, them girls are not gonna like Monique because she's not likable. She's not, like, she's never have has been. And I've been telling people even before this show came on, I told people that they were not gonna like her. I was like, y'all like her because she bopped Candace on the top of the head for what? Like, some over something that somebody else said, who she invited over to her house to have cocktails, but didn't bop her on the head. But I was like, y'all, but all of a sudden, everybody want to love Monique all of a sudden. Let's see. Let's see when she gets on her own show, will all that love be there? And they trying to make it seem like Monique is acting so differently than she was on on Real Housewives of Potomac. But it was never that. This is the same woman that's been on that show. She ain't acting differently. She always has been unlikable. But y'all have liked her because she was going at it with somebody, like I said, that was dark skinned.
Ooh, I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know all the backstory, but you're gonna make me go back and watch the old episodes to get all the tea because I'm missing out. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Yeah, like
lord.
she's like the same way. Like, listen, the same way that she's out here clowning Winter right now on social
Hmm.
media with Ashley, and that's her friend of 15 years, is the same way that she turned on that girl on Potomac, Candace, who was supposed to be her quote unquote sister. Completely turned, exposed their text messages and everything, and then they fell out from there. But like she's doing that same thing to Winter because she's never the cool girl. So the moment that gets in with the quote unquote cool girls is the moment that she would drop her own friend and like throw her to the wayside because she's a social climber. She's a clout
That's
chaser. She's
that's
like
exactly
she's
what
not
Bree
loyal to
said.
nobody.
Ooh, oof, ooh, oof. Oh my lord. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to handle all of this. Okay. Woo. She got a lot going on and she just appears to be so sweet in her IG lives. I guess I fell for it. I don't
But on
know.
Twitter, but like
Call me
she's
call
been
me
on
a
Twitter
fool.
clowning Winter. Like you've been
Okay.
on
Oh, oh, is she? Okay, I'm over there, but I haven't been
yeah.
over there. But I'm gonna go over there and check that out. She clowning Winter like currently?
Yes, her
Yes,
and
with
Ashley did it.
Ashley.
Oh no! Wait a minute. How you gonna have a lady on your show and you clowning her too? Come on
And
now.
it ain't her. Like, let's be clear, it ain't her show because
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying, but they asked her who to bring on. She did have, I think, if unless they're just lying about that too, but they did. Carlos did say that she has some say so in who she wanted on the show. I don't know.
yeah.
Now, am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, she did. I guess she did have some type of say so. I don't know what type of say so it is, but like I just want really stop this and stop making this woman think that this show is hers. It's not.
Hello, Jeremy.
Well, this is an
Jeremy.
ensemble cast, so it's not really
Yeah.
her show.
Well, no, yeah, okay. It's not. No, I'm not. You're right.
Yeah,
It's not her show, but I guess
people are making her think she's that girl, but as I stated,
okay.
Monique is not that girl. Yeah, you might
Mm,
want to go back and rewatch seasons 1 through 4 of Real Housewives of Potomac.
mm-hmm.
Like her good, like Jeremy was saying with her, she had a friend that we saw her on the screen once before. Her name is Gigi. Gigi spilled a lot of stuff allegedly. I'll say allegedly because we don't know if that's true or not. But her
Mm-hmm.
friend Gigi said a lot of things on social media about Monique, and then some of it got back to the women via a former cast member, Charisse, and Monique had a huge issue with Candace, and it was just ridiculous. She had an issue with a girl who did nothing to her. She actually was defending her, but then you befriend a girl who said that you lost your baby because you were drunk behind the wheel of a car, and and you
Wait
befriend a
a minute.
woman.
Wait. Slow down. Are you saying this is Monique? This happened with Monique? Monique
Yeah,
had a.
she had a miscarriage, but one of the girls on Potomac alluded to the fact that they had went out the day of, they had went
Uh
out
huh.
drinking at a bar, and Monique crashed her car. So she was alleging that she was drunk, and that's why she crashed her car and lost her baby. But
Mm-hmm.
Monique continued to befriend that one with a big forehead. And then Monique also befriended the other woman that allegedly was going to bring on the show the rumor that her youngest child is not her husband's son. And she befriended Giselle all of season 5 and attacked her good friend Candace, bopped her on the head for no reason. She was allegedly mad because Candace invited one of the one Charisse to her a party, but you had been at an event with her and took a picture with her. So what was the big issue? So Monique, to me, she's full
Wow.
of it. And to me, when it comes to Monique is a. I feel like Monique is a pathological liar because her exit from Real Housewives of Potomac, I still don't know what the truth is because I've heard her say that they offered her a contract, she turned it down. Then I recently have heard that she said that she had put in her resignation after the season 5 reunion. So I don't. With Monique, I just don't know what to believe with her, but I'm over her at this point.
Yeah, her and Kimmy are
Mm.
like to me two sides of the same coin, two liars, and just
Ooh.
and like what I hate the most about the regular viewers is that they feel like they're so smart. They feel like they know it all, like, and they try to convince the actual people who are actually seeing the truth that we are just like bandwagoners and stuff like that. So the people who love Kimmy and who love Monique are sitting here trying to convince me that what I'm believing is completely false. But when you ask them questions about why they believe what they believe and why they hate certain people, they can never give you an accurate response because none of it is based on actual facts. It just makes no sense. I don't know how anybody could be a fan of Monique based
Mm.
on what she's been doing. Or Kimmy
Oh.
on Love and Marriage Huntsville. But like people love these two people. And I don't get it because it's so obvious to see that they're fraudulent. But the audience loves them.
Mm.
Loved her so much to give her her own spin-off show on DC. This is what y'all wanted. Yep, this Monique, I cannot.
Mm. Guys, you heard that. Now, can you hit those thumbs up? You've been here for more than 2-3 minutes. Hit the thumbs up for me, please. Let's get this video out in the algorithm. All this juiciness, all these connoisseurs of all the Real Housewives that go way, way back. Hey, they got my back on this, okay? Because they spilling tea that I did not know. I did not go back that far. I'm gonna be honest. Now, I'm gonna tell you. I do not have that experience with the Real Housewives of Potomac. I don't.
Yeah,
So,
it's like it's crazy because like Monique fans, like they despise this girl named Candace. And the girl Candace, like because of Monique, literally everybody hates her. Monique turned the whole fans of Real Housewives of Atlanta against Candace, and everybody hates Candace. And I promise you, I watched this show back and forth and back each season to try to really get an analyzation on why they feel the way that they feel about Candace, and I just do not understand it. And it's because of what Monique has like made her seem like that she's just so disrespectful, that she's out here just trying to talk bad about everybody. She didn't even say anything bad about Monique when they were
She walked
beefing.
away from Monique every chance she got.
Yeah, and like I was like, the way that she's violated the other women on the cast, she never touched Monique verbally. She respected the boundary that they had as friends. In the same way that Candace did that with Monique, she also did it with Karen. She did not go in on Karen in the way that she really could have because they were friends before. Like, and it's crazy to me how gullible the audience is about Monique and, like I said, Kimmy from Love and Marriage DC, and probably about Monique on this franchise. And they're like, everybody, I feel like I'm gonna probably end up liking Winter just because of the way that Monique is doing her. And I honestly kind of do think Winter is kind of funny too. Like, it's some about the way that she speaks. It's almost a reminiscent of like a character from Good Times. Like she always is like, I feel like talking very loudly. Like she's always screaming in her confessionals. Like just last on the next episode when her and Ashley get into it, she was like, "What in the ghetto gala?" I was like, "What is going on here?" Like this lady is hilarious, you know. So I don't know. I still don't really see. I still don't really see it for Winter like that, but I feel like in the future, Monique is gonna make me like Winter because of my intense dislike for her. Candace's mouth is reckless. Is J Dub? J Dub, you're from DC. Everybody mouth reckless. Didn't we already say that?
Wait a minute. Is that yeah, I think I did hear that. Is that where Monique Samuel? She's from the DC
She's
area?
not from there.
No, like
She's from
Monique is
Jersey.
from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah,
But
okay.
she
So
lives in DC. I'm saying, but everybody in the DC area mouth is reckless. Like you like J Dub, you were just telling us the other day that Jamie telling his wife to shut up is like normal out there, and putting his hands over his wife's mouth. That's just a normal
Mm-mm.
thing. But all of a sudden, Candace's mouth is reckless. Everybody in DC mouth is reckless. Let's be real here. Everybody could get down verbally out there. It's like or in just the Maryland area in general. Look at Ashley. Look at what Ashley has been saying. Like anybody out there in like in the DC area got reckless mouths when they get tried.
mm, mm, mm. Woo. Lord have mercy. You guys are schooling me. I'm gonna have to watch my own video over again just to process it all, you know? Okay? All right, okay. But guys, I want to thank you for hanging with us. I want to thank JB Says What for being here. He's on YouTube. So guys, we've got links to his channel and to, of course, Jeremy Speaks. Let me run back up here and grab those up real quick. But subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to also Jeremy Speaks and also to JB Says What. Okay. And we'll be back next week for more of Love and Marriage DC. And you guys want to say anything? Jeremy, you're going to be doing a live right after. I'm sorry. Are you going to be doing a live?
Not right after. I'm gonna be doing a live in like 45 minutes. I have some like business to
Okay.
to do.
He's got business to do. So we'll say maybe what about 8:30 ish?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe about 8:30 ish. Jeremy Speaks will be going live, and JB, you want to anything on your you've got all the updated shows. You want to tell us about what shows that you cover on your channel?
I'm covering so many shows right now. So
Ooh, are you doing that P Valley? Is that you?
yes, I love P Valley.
I'm
That is
trying
my
to
show.
figure out what the P Valley even is, but I got
I
a
can't
feeling
tell
I
you.
probably don't need to know since I'm PG-13 over here.
I can't say it on but yeah.
What else?
So yeah, I'll tell you guys, give a quick rundown of what I do. So Monday nights, you guys can catch me, and I do Basketball Wives reluctantly. On on Wednesdays, you can catch me doing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives of Dubai, Tyler Perry's Sisters, and then you can catch me on Sundays. I review Real Housewives of Atlanta, as well as Love Match Atlanta, and what else?
Mm.
P Valley, and then also I'm doing Love and Marriage Huntsville and DC.
Ooh, quick question. Just like I'm just throwing this out here. Do you want to do Love and Marriage Huntsville with me?
Alive?
Uh-huh.
When are you gonna do it?
I'll be doing it like I'll probably say at a 8:45 or 9.
Yeah, just DM me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know your IG,
It's the
so
same
He's
as my channel. It's
huh?
JB
yeah,
says what? It's JB says what?
Okay.
over on IG. So you guys can get together and I want to shut this video down. But go ahead, you guys get yourselves on IG, connect, because this is what this is all about. Collaboration. So this is a great collaboration. And you guys, I'm looking forward to it. 45 minutes. We're going to be over at Jeremy Speaks, and these two gentlemen are going to be talking about Love and Marriage. What is it? Love and Marriage Huntsville?
Yes.
Okay, looking forward to it. Guys, we want to thank you for hanging out with us here at Ashley Aubrey. Uh, we're going to say good night and we're out.